Welcome back, gang. I'm gonna go ahead and kick off this video with a question. Do you find you're a part of the group of anglers that catch yourself saying, I only fish, and then fill in the blank. I only fish this fishing line. I only fish this color. I only fish. The list will go on and on. But if you find yourself that you keep saying to yourself, I only fish this, and you find yourself in a fishing rut, this video is for you. You see, because I found myself saying that I only fish this, I only fish that, I only fish these techniques. And over the course of the last few weeks out here in the Everglades, our weather has been a little on the unpredictable side. I know we're already in March, but we've had a couple of cold fronts come through, and in between that, we've had a little bit of, not a heat wave, but we've had warm weather. So it's thrown this fish for a loop, because one day, one location, you will catch 100 and something bass, and the next day you're scratching your head thinking, are there any bass here anymore? Did I catch all the bass? Well, the reason is because conditions change. But if I don't change as an angler, I don't change my approach, and I pigeonhole myself with thinking I only do this, I found myself that I was getting myself in a little bit of a situation where I wasn't catching any fish at all. Stick around. I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys 3 important insights that I found helped me a lot. So tip number 1, or insight number 1. I only fish braid. That was my mantra for many, many years. I only fish braid. You can fish braid for any type of technique. You can fish it for topwater, you can fish it for your bottom, you can fish it for your moving baits. You can only fish braid. Well, I'm here to tell you that although braid is unbelievable, it is a great fishing line for a lot of applications, and for some of them, there is no other negotiation but to fish braid. But to say I only fish it for a lot of applications, I have come to find out that I had to rethink that. You guys know that a lot of my videos I use braid with leader and all that good stuff. But I found over the course of the last few weeks that I was doing techniques I was working with in the past, but because of a conditional change or whatever type of situation, the fish just weren't biting. I knew they were there. I know they liked that particular technique, but why weren't they biting? So I spoke to a good friend of mine, and I explained to him the situation. And he's fishes with me a lot. He knows me well. He's like, yeah, dude, but you only fish with braid, let's say in this application, or you fish with braid with a leader. Have you tried fishing with just, let's say in this case, mono, or just fluorocarbon? I'm like, no, I haven't really. I haven't done that in a very long time. It's like, well, think about it and do it. I'm like, all right. So I took a page out of this gentleman's playbook. I'm not going to tell you his name, but he's a good friend of mine. And I said, you know what? Let me try this out. Let me change things up. So instead of just fishing just braid, I switched it up, and I switched to monofilament. And I fished to monofilament on a couple of techniques. I'm not going to go into those techniques, but I've made the switch. And by making that switch, guess what? The fishing started to change. I started catching more fish. I'm like, wait a second, the conditions are still tough, but just because of a line change, I'm catching more fish? I'm like, And I started catching bigger fish. And I was like, holy smokes. So just because I pigeonholed and I limited myself to just one particular style of fishing line, by making a simple switch of just changing my fishing line, it opened up the doors to catch a lot more fish and a lot of bigger fish just by doing that. Another thing I found myself saying, yeah, but I'm a power fisherman. I will figure out the bite by doing several or different types of power fishing techniques. Well, you know what? Power fishing is awesome. I love power fishing, especially out here in the Everglades, because you catch yourself some very big bass. But you know what? Power fishing is not going to get you the bass all the time. Now, I'm not talking about tournament situations and stuff like that. This is not about that. Keep in mind, folks, I am talking to you guys in regards to just your everyday angler that comes out here to the Everglades or is visiting the Everglades and they find themselves in a rut. I got to make sure I say this. Tournament anglers, this does not apply to you guys. Well, maybe it does in your tournament, but I'm not going to get involved with that. Found myself saying that I was a power fisherman. And guess what? My power fishing techniques were not working. What's going on here? I'm like, all right, let me backtrack a little bit. Because you guys know, I love power fishing. Big swim baits, frogs, big worms, all that good stuff. Swim jigs, big swim jigs. Wasn't working. So what did I do? I downplayed it. Okay, I went to my spinning gear. Started throwing a jerk bait. A little bit more on the finesse side. This is a big jerk bait, but let's say I switched to a small jerk bait. Or I switched to something smaller, something that needed to be, like I said, finessey. Man, by doing that change, the bites started to increase. Even though the conditions were still tough, I opened up a door, a secret door, let's say, and the fishing started getting a lot more interesting. Wanted to go ahead and interrupt this video really quick before I talk to you guys about insight number 3. Go over to my website at www.bassitwithcaptainlou.com. You guys are going to find that I've done some changes in the website. It's a little bit more interactive. I would appreciate you guys taking the time and go check that out. If you guys are visiting South Florida anytime soon and you guys want to learn some of the techniques that I've been teaching you guys in my videos, go ahead, go to www.bassitwithcaptainlou.com, check out the website, get yourself booked for a guide trip, and we're going to have the best time fishing with all these techniques. I would appreciate you guys going to the website. Let's go back to the video. Hopefully you like it so far. Insight number 3, or tip number 3. I found myself saying, I only throw these colors. In this particular case, let's say I only throw a watermelon red fluke. That's the only type of color I throw. Come to find out that although the fluke is an effective bait, because of the conditions, I wasn't throwing the right color at that right particular time. I got caught up with what I was doing, and I'm like, man, why aren't these fish biting? I took a moment and thought things out. I'm like, wait a second, it is a bluebird sky. They need a little bit of a contrast. Let me switch to a June bug, let's say. Holy smokes, by making that change, the fishing opened up. Not only did I apply the color on this particular bait, but I applied it in other baits as well. I contrasted a little bit. I went a little darker based on the conditions, and the fishing completely changed. Now, I know it's not rocket science. I know that, duh, of course, if it's bright outside, you got to fish with, you know, a darker bait or whatnot. But like I said, sometimes you get yourself in a rut, so you lose sight of the obvious. So the point of this video, or those 3 points that I covered with you guys, is to think outside the box. I'm not saying to deviate from your style, but if you find yourself fishing with one particular fishing line, change it. Stay with the technique, but change the fishing line. Or with this particular bait, change the color a little bit. Or if you find yourself just fishing, you know, power fishing a lot, switch to finesse. Or if you fish with finesse and you find yourself that you fish, you know, with a 1/4 of an ounce weight, let's say, or an 1/8 of an ounce weight, and it's not working for you, then change to, you know what? Change to a 1/16th. Change to a 1/32. Just slight little changes, and you'll find that the fishing will change for you. So hopefully I didn't go on and ramble on and on in regards to these things, but these are some insights that I found over the course of the last few weeks that helped me tremendously. And I'm sure for some of you, it's going to help you guys a lot as well. Now, like I told you, I'm going to be dropping 2 more videos over the course of the next few days. 2 bottom presentations that have worked for me a lot out here in the Everglades lately. I have not even shot videos in regards to this before, so I'm pretty excited to talk to you guys about it. But in the meantime, if you guys want to keep watching videos, check out these 2 videos right here. They're going to be pretty helpful. In the meantime, like this video, share this video, better yet, subscribe. The community is growing. And like I said, keep those notifications on, because I'm going to be dropping 2 more videos in the next few days. Check you guys out later.